Do we have something special brewing in Morgantown with what Neal Brown and his staff are building? I think we do, and I'm going to talk about it right after this word from my sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you.
What is up? Come on in, make yourself comfortable, belly yourself up to the bar, and let me pour you out this shot of top shelf college football content. On tap at Couz's Corner today, we are talking about the West Virginia Mountaineer football team in 2024 and really even beyond that. And we're focusing on what is being built there by Coach Neal Brown and his staff. And I'm not talking about just from a talent standpoint, but we're talking strictly today, or primarily today, about what he's building from a culture standpoint. Culture is king. And you need culture to build programs. We even talked about new basketball coach Darren DeVries talk about culture. We've heard Ren Baker talk about culture. Culture is important in any athletic department around the country, any athletic team around the country, but I think it's even more important at a school like a West Virginia, who has been known historically as a developmental program. You need guys in your program for long lengths of time if possible, and you need guys to buy in, and you need guys to hang around for a while. And in this NIL and transfer portal era, that has gotten tougher. But over the last couple of years, Coach Brown, his staff, have done a better job of keeping guys home. And one of the reasons, obviously outside the Country Roads Trust, who've done a great job, outside the staff, which has done a great job, you also have to give credit to the type of guys Neal Brown and his staff are bringing into the program. They're being a lot more intentional about the type of players they're bringing in. Are they a fit? Are they not a fit? Will we have a strong locker room, a healthy locker room every single day? Because that is critical. If guys aren't getting along, if guys aren't buying in, if guys aren't speaking the same language as the staff or even each other, it makes it tough to win in what is the ultimate team sport in football. You have 11 guys, all 11 have to do their job or the play doesn't work. And in order to do that, you have to have a strong culture. Now, especially, like I said, when you're a team like West Virginia and you're not littered with five-star guys, okay? And there have been a few examples recently of guys who really, I think, exemplify what I mean here. And these are the types of guys that will benefit this program and that will help this program win. The first one on this list I'm going to start with is Aubrey Burks. Now, the last two off seasons, Aubrey Burks has had opportunities to leave West Virginia and likely go to larger programs, maybe SEC teams, Big Ten teams, whatever, and make a lot more NIL money than probably what he could make at West Virginia. There have been rumors of tampering. Even specific schools have been mentioned. Not sure how much of that's true. He did get asked about it in a recent press conference. He kind of downplayed it, but I think there may be more to it than what he's letting on. But he did say that it was even worse 2 years ago in the offseason than it was this past season. And there were rumblings this past season. But through it all, Aubrey Burks made the decision to stay in Morgantown and play for West Virginia because he didn't want to change coaching staffs. He didn't want to learn a new language from a schematic standpoint. He felt like he was getting what he needed right here in West by God, Virginia, with Neal Brown and that staff at the time, which was Dante Wright. Now it's Shadon Brown and what they're teaching. He feels like he's getting what he needs, and he feels like he's being developed the right way. Burks has had some off-season accolades. He was named the top safety by Pro Football Focus coming into this last season. He's been named the top 10 safety returning in this season by Pro Football Focus. So some accolades have come Aubrey Burks' way, and he's earned that. He's earned those accolades because it's all based on the numbers he's put up. But Aubrey's one example of the type of guys that West Virginia's bringing in. Loyalty's big here too with all these guys, by the way, that I'm going to mention. You got to go back to Zach Frazier. I'm 99.9% confident. Matter of fact, I'm 100% confident. Zach Frazier was almost poached away from West Virginia, or at least an SEC team tried to poach Zach Frazier away from West Virginia between the 2022 and 2023 seasons. And he did get offered more NIL money to go somewhere else, but he chose to stay. Now, Country Roads Trust did their part, I'm sure, in that. But from everything I've heard, he still left money laying on the table to return to West Virginia because that's where he really wanted to be. C.J. Donaldson is another one. He had that breakout freshman campaign in 2022, had opportunities to leave in 23. He even admitted in an interview, I think it was on the Country Roads Trust podcast or YouTube channel. He admitted, I had opportunities, but he chose to stay at West Virginia because they were loyal to him. They were the first Power 5 school to notice him and give him an opportunity. He wanted to return that loyalty, and he's done that now 2 off seasons in a row as he returns for what it will be his junior year in 2024. Next, we've got to talk about the quarterbacks, Nicco Marchiol and Garrett Greene. Now, Nicco Marchiol came in as a highly touted 4-star recruit out of Hamilton High School in Arizona. Played on national television. One of the most memorable high school football games in recent memory, led that big 17-point comeback. I think there was only a couple minutes to go in the game. They come back, win the game, thanks to Nicco's heroics. Highly touted kid. Had opportunities to play at Florida State and a lot of other big programs. Chose West Virginia. Did not get to play his freshman year. Did not even get to play or didn't start at least last year as Garrett Greene beat him out for the starting job. But instead of getting mad or upset and leaving in the offseason, what did he do? He stayed. He's staying the course. He's putting in the work. He's putting in the time because he knows at some point he will be the man. He will be the guy to lead the program just like Garrett is now. So instead of bailing on the program, he's staying around, waiting his turn to be the starting quarterback for the West Virginia Mountaineers. So again, Nicco has shown loyalty going into what is his 3rd season. I almost guarantee you Nicco could have left, went somewhere else, and probably started somewhere, maybe even for a Power 5 team. But he chose to stay at West Virginia. And you can't forget about Garrett Greene. He talked about on his appearance on 3 Guys Before the Game, yes, there were people trying to call him to get him to flip and go to other schools. He did not even take the phone calls. He said, nope, I'm happy where I am. He has a great relationship with Coach Brown. His family has a great relationship with Coach Brown. He has a great relationship with the staff, with the new quarterback coach. He loves it. Morgantown is his 2nd home now, if not his 1st home. So he's bought in. He is the guy. He wants to be the guy. West Virginia is where he wants to be. Garrett's also been open about his faith on social media. The next one I'm going to talk about is Brandon Yates. Now, over spring break, Brandon Yates, let me back up a second. Brandon Yates is probably going to be the starting center for the Mountaineers this year to replace Zach Frazier. Now, Brandon's been on the roster now. I think this is his 4th season. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Also, before I forget, in the comments too, let me know yes or no. Just type yes or no. Do you think Neal Brown is building something special in Morgantown? A simple yes or no answer. We'll do it. If you want to type more, that's fine too. But Brandon Yates has been on this team for, I think, 4 years, if not 5. And he's started a lot of games, has a lot of experience. Nobody's ever claimed he's Zach Frazier or as good as Zach Frazier. But he has the opportunity to come in this year and start and be that starting center for the Mountaineer team. Brandon Yates has openly defended Coach Brown on social media before. A couple of years ago, there was some controversy. He defended Coach Brown against fans or maybe media members, whatever it was at the time. He openly defended the staff and Coach Brown. That's a guy who's bought into the program. That's a guy who wants to be in Morgantown. That's a guy you want going to battle for you every single Saturday. And most recently, we found out even something more special about Brandon Yates. We knew about his loyalty. We've seen some of his pregame, pep talks, some of the leadership he has displayed on the field with his teammates. We've seen him in press conferences, how good of a leader he is, how intelligent he is. But more recently, we found out even deeper side of Brandon Yates from his personal life. I'm going to this is a clip from the recent press conference he did in front of the media after a practice. I'm going to share the screen with you, and we're going to listen to this together here real quick.
Okay, question away from football. I understand you had an interesting spring break.
Yeah.
So walk me through your missionary trip.
Just really just that. When I think about the mission trip, I think about like I was blessed to be in a position like playing football and seeing this world, and really we're in a really privileged situation. And going over there, you really see people that really have it different than you. Like I seen kids living in sheds. Only people that can protect them was 3 guard dogs. You know what I mean? So you go over there and see that, and you're able to help them and give them a helping hand. Like I would do that 1,000% again and again and again. And I think I'm just in a really privileged and blessed position to really be able to go out there and lend a helping hand and use my body to be a vessel for God. And I think that was huge for me. And I really we can look at it and just come back here and kind of use that in my development. Like, you know what I mean? All these things. And I'll say football practice is hard. Just imagine you don't know what you're gonna eat that night and who's gonna come home and protect you. And if I'm gonna have clean water that day, like I go to practice and I got people hosing me down with clean water and stuff like that, and people chasing me down just give me water. You know what I mean? And it's really crazy to go up there and see that type of stuff, and it really puts me in perspective.
Right.
So he went on a mission trip somewhere overseas that I don't think they ever said the country that he went to. But kudos to Brandon Yates. Great job, young man. Proud of you for doing something much bigger than the game of football. Again, these are the type of character guys Coach Brown is bringing on. But Brandon is actually talking. He's actually walking the walk, not just talking the talk, just like Garrett Greene did, in my opinion. These are the types of people of faith that I consider to be good people and good role models. Okay? Not the ones who just claim to be, and then they don't show it, and they don't live it, they don't walk it. But from a just overall character perspective, even taking the faith out of the picture for a minute, they're good, just good, high character individuals. Those are the types of people Neal Brown is bringing into this program. I think it was Darren DeVries at his presser says or in one of his interviews, he wants to stack talent with intangibles. If you stack talent with intangibles enough times, you're going to have a really good team. Same thing Coach Brown's doing here. You get talented guys who also have the intangibles. You're going to have a winning formula here, especially if they fit the culture of your team and your state. And these guys do. They're blue collar. They're loyal. They're unselfish. They want to do things for other people. I mean, we've seen what Garrett's done for people over at WVU Medicine Children's Hospital. We've seen Nicco raise money for, children in need. I mean, we could go on and on. We've seen Zach Frazier visiting kids at the hospital. Guys, the list goes on and on. And I just think Neal Brown and his staff are doing things the right way. They're bringing in players that buy in, that want to do things the right way on and off the field. And if they can continue down this path, I think the future is extremely, extremely bright. And I've got one more example for you, and that's Mr. Sean Martin. Now, Sean Martin also talked to the media yesterday. He's had a number change. He was wearing number 5. They asked him why he was wearing number 5. It's to honor a fallen teammate from his days at Bluefield High School. Now, I live in that area, so I know all about the story he's referring to. A young man by the name of Tony Webster had a brain aneurysm and collapsed and died in the weight room of the school one day. High school, 16, 17-year-old kid, whatever. I don't remember his exact age, but he was somewhere in that neighborhood. He was close friends with Sean Martin and many of the other Bluefield players. And Sean, now that players are allowed to wear different numbers at different positions, he now has the opportunity to wear number 5 So and Coach Brown is allowing him to do that. It's just, you can hear Sean Martin in interviews. You can tell he's just a great young man. He's just a super young man. I've talked to a few people who know the Martin family. They're great people. Sean, by all accounts, is a great young man. He does well in school. He did well at Bluefield High School. To my knowledge, he never got in any trouble. He keeps to himself. He's quiet. Just high character individuals. And it continues to repeat itself. Look at the guys they brought in last year's class with Traylon Ray, with Rodney Gallagher. Just two examples. High character people. At least by all accounts and everything we've seen, read, heard. Are they perfect? I guarantee you they're not. But they're loyal. They work hard. They want to do the right things. Most of them came up with good upbringing, have good families, and or good parents backing them that have taught them right and wrong. That is what's being built in Morgantown, West Virginia. And I think as long as they continue down that road, there's something special brewing in Morgantown. And you look back at some of the great coaches of all time. Even right here at West Virginia, we had Don Nehlen. He wanted to do things the right way. Not saying Rodriguez and Holgerson didn't, but I think there was just a special culture with Nehlen. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Nehlen was a man of faith as well. Not saying you have to be a man of faith, but I do think it's important. At least for a team like West Virginia and a culture like West Virginia. You've got people like Bobby Bowden, people like Dabo Swinney, who really, really, really push doing things the right way, building the right culture, being unselfish, putting others above yourself, all of that stuff. And I think Neal Brown is trying to build his program the way guys like them did. Now, will he end up having the same amount of success? Who knows? It's a different time. It's a different world we live in college athletics today with the NIL, the transfer portal, all that. Conference realignment, the SEC and Big Ten now making 3 to 4 times more money than everybody else. Different times. So it's going to be harder. But I do think West Virginia can have a successful program, compete for Big 12 titles, compete for college football playoff spots, maybe get a few here and there, win 8-9 games a year. I do not think that's a stretch to expect that with Neal Brown at the helm, with what he's building and the kind of players he's bringing in. But you tell me what you think in the comment section, because your opinion is just as important as my opinion. I want to give my special VIP member shout-outs to this episode. Thank you to brand new member Terry Alford. Also, shout out to Shannon Miller, Dustin Saltz, and Luke Armacost. If you want to become a special paid VIP channel member here at Couz's Corner, there are 2 levels. There's the $2.99 level and the $4.99 level. And I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're watching on your computer, there's probably a join button down below you can hit, and you can go right to the join page. Or you can simply go to my channel page. You can go to my channel page, and right here, see the join button right here? Hit that button. Click that button. It shows you the pub level, the perks that come with it. You click the club level, it shows you the perks that come with that. You hit join again, it'll take you to the page to sign up. It'll automatically take the money out of your account each month, so you don't have to worry about remembering it each month, and you can cancel at any time. So you don't have to make a long-term commitment. But like I said, it's $2.99 a month, which is 75 cents a day. There's also a $4.99 level where you get a few extra perks like some limited ad videos. I'm starting to do a lot more members-only content on the channel, guys. So if you want to have access to that, I put up a 1-minute short this morning talking about the ACC. I think you'll find hopefully a little bit entertaining. Kind of went outside of my box to do a little something different. That is for channel members only. Right now, if you want to watch that, you can join. Also have a video up right now behind the paywall about Miami coming to the Big 12. It's going to be behind the paywall for about the next week or so. If you want early access to that and other future videos, then become a channel member today. Last but not least, support your favorite student athletes with ONIT NIL trading cards. The student athlete gets 60% of the profits. I'll make a small commission if you use the link in my description box. Support your favorite West Virginia Mountaineer athletes. Cannot guarantee any certain players or any certain cards, but that's part of the fun of it, is it not? You don't know who you're going to get. It's the mystery of opening the pack. So get yourself some ONIT NIL trading cards. If you're not a West Virginia fan, they probably have your team over there as well. So click the link in the description box. Go to onitathlete.com. Order you a box or a pack today. If you want to catch another video about West Virginia spring football, check out this one right here. Have a top shelf day. Q, Country, Roads.